So I remember arriving in Hungary after a super long plane flight. We arrived there, and I remember it just felt so different. It felt so different than where we had come from, and I didn't really know what to expect. I guess one of the first experiences I had was we landed in the airport in Budapest, and I was in a group with 8 other elders that had come with me, and my luggage was the luggage that had gotten lost along the way. And so it was a good thing, actually, because I was also the only one who had prepared and packed things in my carry-on in the event that luggage were to get lost. So I was grateful it was mine. But we got to the airport, and one of the other elders helped me, and we went over to the desk to tell them that, okay, my luggage isn't here. And they didn't speak English, and we didn't speak too much Hungarian at that point. And so we were really just trying to explain ourselves and using hand motions and all of these things. And finally, they gave us a picture of different kinds of luggage, and they kind of motioned for us to point at what it looked like. I'm like, okay, we're communicating, we're getting it. But then also at the same time, I thought, oh my gosh, it hit me, kind of the reality of, here I am, I know a little bit of Hungarian, okay, here we go, and that was probably one of the first impressions that I had there was, okay, this is going to be an adventure. But then we met my mission president and his wife at the airport, and I just loved them immediately, and we went and drove back to the mission home that night. And the next day we went out street contacting with the assistants. And that's something that they do with all the new missionaries, is they kind of take them out to one of the main square areas there in Budapest, and they're like, okay, you're going to talk to people about the gospel. And we're all a little nervous, and like, okay, we had our phrases we memorized in the MTC and things like that. And so we went out, and I just remember looking at the people and feeling, the feeling of the city, and hearing the language and seeing what it looked like, and, just kind of being immersed in this Hungarian culture and feeling like, oh my goodness, this is something completely different than I have ever experienced before. And not just that, but also being a missionary, knowing what my purpose would be among these people in this new place, with their history and their culture. And it was a little overwhelming at first. And I remember just really feeling like, how am I going to do this, and how am I going to do this effectively? Because I knew, I loved these people already, and even though, that first day we tried to talk to people on the street, and I experienced for the first time kind of what rejection felt like as a missionary, I just knew that I wanted to be an effective missionary there. And it was kind of a daunting feeling, realizing, I can't completely communicate what I want to say. These people are very different from people that I've interacted with before, just because it is on the other side of the world, in a very different culture. They've experienced very different things in their lives, but it was exciting too. And I think I kind of went back and forth that first week, the first few days, between, okay, this is going to be an adventure, this is exciting, and how am I going to do this? But it really was just an experience, and it was something that I think was good for me to realize I couldn't do it on my own. I couldn't say all that I wanted to in Hungarian yet, and it really did teach me how to rely on the Lord and to just admit to Him, I can't do this without you, and I need help. And I definitely did feel His help, and it was an adventure. I don't really know how else to say it, but it was. And so I definitely felt the Lord's help. And even though the first week and even the first month there, it was a lot of getting used to things and learning about the culture and the customs and the people and the gospel and being a missionary, it was something that I'm so grateful for, because I knew I couldn't do it, and I knew that I needed the Lord's help.